Guys, this is Caitlin Brooks, and this is me, a novice teacher, aka a superhero, and this is my ecological journey. To begin the class, we started with asking basic questions to get a sense of where we were in our eco-literacy. We asked the question, what is the environment to me? Well, for me, the environment is what all people might assume is common sense. Notions such as outdoors, growth, and nature. Although after our lecture, I soon began to branch out from these ideas and think about how special my environment is to me, because, in actual fact, the environment is my home. Despite thinking this way, I struggle and disconnect with nature when following the norms of our society today. We get so caught up in what we call life, and we often forget the foundation of our earth and what it is made to do. How did I get this way? How did all people get this way? I remember being a kid and going outside and playing in a very simple life. David Orr opened my mind when he re-examines the way we learn. He states that today there is a modern drive to try and dominate nature, and that in fact all education and learning has the environment involved in some way. Hence, learning should support who we are as individuals as well as our natural world. Today, we often see our world and its ideologies as individual compartments, where everything is separate. Capra, on the other hand, challenges this with systems thinking, and explains that unlike our linear thinking tendencies, that we should think as our world operates, which is interconnected. Then, when we think we have all the answers, Tragedy of a Comment says, wait, and challenges this even further, saying the only way change can happen is to give up many of the rights we have as citizens of the world, such as childbirth. Well, that sounds lame. But then, light bulb! Donella Meadows brings up a great argument and says, no way! We have not lost all hope. It is our system that is malfunctioned, and the way to help our world is to intercept them and to advocate for change with specific leverage points, or the areas that need improvement. With all of this information, I find myself asking the question, how can we then make a difference? Well, as a class, we brainstormed the various issues that is wrong with our world, and chose to study how we might tackle the issue and how this process helped us as eco-literate learners. My amazing group decided to focus on glaciers, aka the Big Thaw. We found an abundance of information which was very informative. However, what I learned the most is what is important, and that the most important aspect of creating change is the relationships we make with people. As I did with my group, and thus forming a solid community work for change. We also created a community as a class in writing our eco-literate love letters. Even though I found myself outside of my comfort zone, we came together as a team, accepted one another, and weaved together our ideas to form a better understanding of our classroom journey. It was motivating and inspiring, to say the least. As a class, we then touched on the subject of, well, how do we bring this into our classroom? Through asking this question, we found that inquiry-based lessons are the best way for students to understand their world and its issues through exploration, engaging, elaborating, and evaluating. We connected with Capra in that we began to understand our classroom lessons involved lessons of subjective learning and less subjective learning and more interdisciplinary learning. From this, we concluded our students can learn to love their environment on an even deeper level and truly understand the earth and what it provides for humans who live on it. Then we asked, well, what more can we do with this? We examined outdoor education, the idea of bringing our students outside, learning through doing, and exploring the raw environment as is. Colin Harris's Take Me Outside initiative inspired us as a class as to how we can motivate people to explore the environment they live in as a way to respect it even more. Hitting home a little more, we experienced a presentation from a speaker of an actual classroom, Morgan Beta showed us how to include environmental education within the four walls of our classroom, and that we don't always have to go outside to understand it. Following this idea, we decided to create our lessons and explore what we might do in our individual classroom to support learning about the environment. It ended up being much easier than we thought, as we were excited to find ways that we can include all aspects of our lesson. This class has triggered me to start becoming an eco-literate person and an eco-literate teacher. What helped me understand myself most was my creative journals, because without them, I would not have been able to reflect on what I was learning, who I was becoming, and what choices I was making. I understand now that I am an eco-literate person, always, and that we are the change.